Beaune faced hellish backlash from right-wing protests after EU flag emblazoned over sacred spot. Clement Beaune has hit back at furious right-wing protests after France emblazoned the EU flag over the tomb of the unknown soldier in Paris. French authorities removed the European Union flag from the Arc de Triomphe monument in Paris on Sunday after right-wing opponents accused the president of erasing French identity. Mr. Beaune, French Secretary of State for European Affairs, hit back at the backlash, saying he was very proud that the EU flag had flown for a few days from the Arc de Triomphe. He said, "Rest assured, everywhere in France, there will be, as expected, every day to come, European blue which will illuminate our cities and our monuments. And we are very proud of it." The blue flag was raised in place of the French flag on New Year's Eve to mark France's turn at the rotating presidency of the EU Council. France will hold this position for the next 6 months. The EU symbol was also projected onto government buildings and other cultural landmarks, including the Eiffel Tower, the Notre Dame Cathedral, and the Louvre. The Arc de Triomphe, a monument toward Ed which marks the tomb of the unknown soldier, is traditionally draped with the French flag. Presidential rival Marine Le Pen commented, "To adorn the Arc de Triomphe with the sole colors of the European Union, without the presence of a national flag, is a real attack on our nation's identity. This monument honors our military victories and houses the tomb of the unknown soldier." The far-right politician accused Mr. Macron of betraying the duties of his office and displaying arrogant contempt for our history for the sake of personal ambition. Ms. Le Pen also claimed the French president had given a direct order to hang the flag, a move which she suggested broke several articles of the French constitution. In a tweet on New Year's Eve, she demanded President Macron immediately return the French tricolour to the Arc de Triomphe. She added that she would appeal to the Council of State, which acts as legal advisor of the executive, to remove the EU flag. Ms. Le Pen's outrage was echoed by Valérie Pécresse, another conservative candidate who polls suggest could be the main challenger to Mr. Macron in the next election. Ms. Pécresse said, "Preside over Europe yes, erase French identity no." She urged the president to restore the French flag, adding, "We owe it to our soldiers who spilled their blood for it." In the aftermath of the conservative uproar, Mr. Beaune accused his critics of desperately chasing after the sterile controversies of the far right. An official in the French presidency said that the flag's hasty removal before dawn was in line with the planned schedule. The official claimed that unlike the blue lights for other monuments, it was only intended to be at the Arc for 2 days. And the European flag had never replaced the French one, he said. On Sunday, Beaune shot back at her remarks, warning of polemics. "Daring to summon the memory of the veterans, I say it, that is an abject shame," he said. And the European flag had never replaced the French one, he said. "They're talking nonsense. They lied," he said on France Inter. "We have never, ever removed a French flag." The spat comes a few months before the French presidential election is scheduled to begin on April 10. Perhaps unsurprisingly, Zemmour struck similar tones to Le Pen, the Arc de Triomphe under Macron, after the ransacking and the packing, the contempt, he said. Centre-right presidential candidate Valérie Pécresse also chimed in, pushing for 2 flags to fly under the monument. "Presiding over Europe yes, erasing the French identity no. I solemnly ask Emmanuel Macron to restore our tricolour flag next to that of Europe under the Arc de Triomphe. We owe it to all our fighters who shed their blood for it," she said. Beaune warned Pécresse's stance makes her an accomplice to the extreme right. This was, he said, a serious political error. While Beaune insisted that he was proud that the flag had flown for a few days, the display was ultimately short-lived. An Élysée spokesperson also denied the flag was taken down under pressure, saying it had been removed overnight Saturday into Sunday as initially scheduled.